Hello, good people of the internet. Today I'm showing you a reed farm that I built, which is an improvement over impulseSV's fully automatic lossless reed farm. Mine, you know what, I'm so surprised that no one came up with this kind of idea before. I've searched YouTube, well, the front page of automatic reed farm search results, and I can't see anything. So this is my reed farm. I thought it's all well and good having one line of reeds for each line of slime blocks, but why not have two? So with this, we have 10 slime blocks, which has reeds on either side of them instead of one side. And then the pistons, there's one on each side, and then there's only 10 next to the reeds because there has to be an 11th in between the pistons, and then a piston which makes 12 blocks, which is the maximum that pistons can push. So, to activate, the first piston will push the slime blocks into this position here, and then the second piston, once this one retracts, will push them onto this side. And honestly, it's just like a super simple. I don't know why people haven't come up with it before. Maybe they have. Maybe they have made a video. Maybe they haven't. But this is mine because I thought, you know what, this is pretty cool. I think people should know about this. So this is basically how it works. There's a repeater set to 3 ticks, and you just press the button or give it a pulse, and it harvests one side and then harvests the other. As you can see, all of these were grown, and now they are not. So I'll press it, and show you from the side. It's so simple, and it's so much more space efficient. You have the water in the middle, and literally you just stack one on top of the other, like in Impulse's design. So the water would go above these leaf blocks here, the sand would go here, and it's really simple. So it's literally just powered by pillars of redstone torches. And this is the kind of a large compacted design. Basically, lots of those modules all put together in a big cube, and it's so much more efficient, guys. I've come up with some stats. The slime to sand ratio is 11 to 20, which if it was 12 to 20 would be 3 to 5. Which is much more efficient than the ratio of slime to sand in Impulse's farm. This is a replica of the one he built in his tutorial video. In here, the slime to sand is 1 to 1. So a much more efficient slime to sand ratio. And the piston to sand is 1 to 10 as opposed to 1 to 12. So that is the size of the inside of the farm, not including the glass, I think. But anyway, so the sand in this farm, there are 960 sand, 528 slimes, and 96 pistons. And the volume of the farm is 12,825. So with these calculations, I have taken into account the difference in volumes between these farms, as this one's only 8,745. But I've come up with a couple of stats. So it is 0.27. For each block, not just sand or reeds. For each block, including air, this farm produces 0.27 reeds in a set amount of time. Now, I did this by letting both farms run until this chest here, filled up. So it took basically that amount of time. I couldn't tell you what it is. And this farm only got this amount of sugarcane. So less than half of the amount that this one did. Now, it is a slightly unfair test because this one's a lot bigger, volume-wise. So, of course, it's going to have more sugarcane. But it is a lot more compact. But I did take account for that in the calculations. So this one produces 0.27 per block. This one only produces 0.15 per block, which makes this one 80% more space efficient, if you like, compared to that one. And here I've got sand. There are 75 sand, 41 slime, and 7.5 pistons per 1,000 blocks. Now, take special notice of the number of sand and the number of slimes. Here, the slime's only 41 and 74 sand. Over here, we've got same number of slime, but the sand is a lot lower. So you get more harvestable produce per slime block in this with this design of farm. Now, I've done a few more calculations. Don't ask me how I got to them. I've kind of actually forgotten. But it is 70% more compact, and it is 82% more slime block efficient than this other farm that Impulse made. And I'll quickly go over a couple of design features and reasons behind this. So just give me 1 second, I'll do that for you. Stepping inside the farm, you might notice that I am walking under what should be farm area. And that is because they're actually staggered by 2 blocks. Every alternate row, I didn't mention, the slime farm is actually built kind of the opposite way as Impulse's. In Impulse's, you expand it sideways and upwards along the length of the farm. This one, you expand it along the depth of the farm. So, well, it's easier to do that than doing it this way, just because of the way the redstone works. But I had to stagger them, because if they were directly opposite, you know, having reed on both sides of the slime blocks, they would be at the same level. And doing that would be kind of nice, because then it would be slightly smaller and what have you. But I'll demonstrate over here. If there are slime blocks, reeds here, and slime blocks push them off, they are going to hit these slime blocks over here and fall onto the sand, as you can see. Now, I thought, hey, I can fix that by making this piston here and this one fire at the same time, so that both of the slime blocks move out above the sand and the reeds will fall down the gap. But of course you can't do that, because one of these pistons will take up the gap and then the other one can't move. So the solution I came up with was to stagger them by 2 blocks. And that means that the redstone's a lot simpler, because I don't have to make the pistons fire at the same time. And it also means that I don't lose any of the sugarcane. Well, I say any. I don't lose the sugarcane. Some fall on that block of redstone there. But anyway, I don't lose the sugarcane because it doesn't fall on the sand. Instead, it gets pushed off, hits this sand here, the side of the sand, and then falls down into the water stream. So that is why it is staggered. But that does just mean that you have to do a little bit of redstone trickery down here at the bottom to invert the redstone pillar signal from what it would be on the other towers. You can see this torch is off, these ones are on, so it's just inverted and brought up by 2 blocks. Water streams are super simple, they just collect everything at the bottom. And that's pretty much it. This is just about as compact as you can get reed farms. The water is in the center, as you can see, and you can just expand this out as much as you want. The redstone signal starts at the back, over here, comes up, powers this block, which turns these pistons on, and then there's a repeater set to 3 ticks in this gap between those 2 pillars. And then there's a redstone facing from that, which activates this one at the same time, and it just goes along the line. Now, there is a slight issue with this one, in that all of them firing at the same time does create a fair amount of lag. Now, I can demonstrate that by showing you that I am currently running at roughly 90 FPS. If I press this button, my FPS kind of plummets, getting down as low as 10. Now, that can be a problem, but as I'll show you now, if I press the button and then face away from it, I stay at a healthy 140 FPS. It did just fire, but believe it or not. You can see some sugarcane falling down there. So depending on where you build this, just keep in mind that it's going to lag your world a little, and especially if you're looking at it, your frame rate will suffer. So just bear that in mind. Also over here, I've just got a simple etho hopper clock timer with a redstone torch on the side of that to create a pulse, blah 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 blah. Goes into this block over here, which has a redstone torch on it and just goes up. So I don't know if I've covered everything in this video, but I hope I've covered enough to make it useful or interesting for you. I'll put a link to Impulse's slime farm in the description, because he was the one who basically came up with the idea, and he deserves some credit. But I feel like I've made a dramatic improvement on it, and I really hope it's helpful for you. So until next time, please let me know if you want to know any more details, or if you want a tutorial or anything like that, but I feel like this video has served its purpose. So I will see you again at a later date. Goodbye!